All right. Looks like I'm live. Welcome to our Success Mastermind for Thursday, the 21st of October, 2021. John Lavenia here with you. Look at that, 21-10-2021. All right. There's that, right? Oh, and I'm hearing myself talking the YouTube thingy. All right. So I am here filling in for Shannon today. She has a business meeting that's starting right now with some technology. Not my favorite topic, but in fact, not a lot of yours either. But we use technology all the time. We're using it right now, and it makes our life more workable, especially in the modern age. Good to see Daisy. Good to see Gail. I've got a light topic for you today. Although I do want to mention that yesterday we had Books for Britain. So if you attended that live, or if you want to catch the recording, that's in there. Where Mandy had completed the review of my book, Integrity is Everything. So there's a British take on that, or at least Mandy's take on it. Really good stuff, I think. And then we also had Networking Magic last night with Glenn. Not sure what his topic was there. I was not able to attend live as I've been double booked for lots of different stuff. But today we have our general session, and pretty much that's it, except our hospitality suite, which is open all day. So a couple ideas, things that as a result of all the things that have been going on in my life and in my businesses, something I wanted to bring up to everyone. The topic is, I guess we'll call it, pivoting or adapting and overcoming. I have, as many of you know, I have multiple enterprises that I've got my hands in, and I mentioned, I think the other day, the difference between high leverage and low leverage activities. Okay, while both are productive, one is, let's say, expedient, but that's it, right? There's no residual effect of that. Like, it's make money now, do it right now, which I like, right? I like instant gratification. Who doesn't? Okay, as long as you're competent, as long as you know what to do. If somebody said to you, there's the apple tree and there's, low-hanging fruit, would you like to go grab an apple? Sure, I'd like an apple. When you go and you get an apple, that's nice. That's instant gratification. The other opportunity, let's say, is there's a field. There it is, beautiful soil. It rains every now and then, right? And here's some seeds. Would you like an apple? We'll go for it. There's the field, right? And so we go and we plant the seed. Now, the issue for me has been, how do I allocate time to both? If this is expedient and there's fruit, I can see the fruits and I am competent. I can take fruit from tree. I know how to do that. Okay, well, that could be, you ever hear the term a gig economy, right? Like, people go from gig to gig to gig, or what is this term that got popular a couple of years ago? I don't know if it still is, a side hustle. Some people live their whole life in side hustles and they don't plant the seed. And I could be look at myself and say, well, John, what percentage of time have you committed to planting seeds rather than just getting low-hanging fruit? Great question. Now, here's the interesting thing about the whole gig economy thing. And I don't know how many of you actually, relate to this directly. Okay, because I know we've got people engaged in different kinds of businesses, some of which are more built on rock and some are more built on sand, right? So here's stability versus here's the shifting sands that require, consistent pivoting and adjustment. But sometimes those things that are expedient have run their course, or other people who can also influence the direction of that enterprise or that product or that opportunity can take it in a different direction. And then there goes your low-hanging fruit. Hopefully we've planted seeds the whole time, right? So there's got to be some forward vision, right? Well, while we've got, hopefully we do, short-term goals, we also have to have bigger targets and objectives, a bigger scene. If we could survey a bigger scene, then we could say, yeah, sure, we've got gigs here that are stepping stones en route to this, right? This bigger thing. And we're going to plant seeds all along the way. And this is something that I think some people are better than others at it. I will tell you that, there's this thing called shiny object syndrome. I know Lindsay and I and several of us have had this conversation. where there's always something, look at me, look at me, look at me, something impinging on your attention and beckoning you. Yes, beckoning. It's not a word I use a lot, to shift your attention over there. Now, considering we only have so much attention, right? Think of it like a bucket that you get full of attention coins or something each day, and you must spend them. You must. Okay. Well, since there's a finite amount of attention based on 24 hours in a day and whatever, then we've just got to be judicious with where we're going to spend our attention. Now, good news for everyone here, if you're in this conversation, and if you've been reading the books that we've been reading and all the other, stuff that we put our attention on, well, then you're probably not spending a whole lot of those tokens or whatever on, kitten videos and Gilligan's Island reruns and whatever. I mean, it's nice to have a reprieve. Fine. Okay. I'm not going to begrudge you of your, entertainment as well. But what is that? Is that an hour a day? Is that a half hour a day? Right. The average American watches 7 hours of media per day. So you see the difference there, right? And by the way, being judicious in that way as well, right? I've got to be careful because I can easily be seduced into more than an hour's worth of, news, commentary, global events, things like this, which I can't immediately do anything about. And yet they definitely attract my attention. All right. It's easy to see, I'll say it like this. It's easy to see what's wrong in the world. Easy, very easy. Okay. Any moron can do that. Okay. But to work within my circle of influence, to take the majority of my attention and put it on things where I can have an effect, where I can be effective, where I am causative, where I can make something happen. Now, what does that do for me? Okay. That gives me a feeling of gratification. In some cases, instant with the low hanging, here's the apple. In some cases, hey, I did that high integrity activity. Those seeds are in the ground, right? And that bolsters my own self-esteem, really. When we want good self-esteem, well, do esteemable things, right? So what I'm suggesting is that if you are already engaged in esteemable activities, whether they're high leverage or low leverage, either way, okay, you've already stood up, right? You've already put yourself head and shoulders above the people who actually they're not effective. They don't seek to have an effect. They don't seek to be cause in their life. They seek to, I guess, gripe or be entertained or, anything but actually cause something to happen. Which brings me back to the original point and the thing that I've been focused on this week for myself, and I hope this serves you, is that I've recently had the need to pivot, right? Here's what appears to be an expedient, low leverage, although exceedingly profitable for however long it lasts, opportunity to go ahead and, grab some apples on the tree. That's nice. I like that. Okay. And then, other influences said, well, we're going to change this. We're going to do that. Right. Never mind how good our statistics are. Let's go ahead and change what's working. Okay. I'm not in control of that. And the question that I like to ask myself a lot is, what part of this can I be responsible for? In the case where, let's say, you're the subordinate of, some corporate, management or agenda, or you are along for the ride in some way. Let's say you're like a distributor in a networking company or something like that. You're not cause over the agenda. Okay. You're participating in an agenda that was created for you and that you enrolled in. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I just heard a weird noise. It might have been outside my house. I'm not sure. Sounded like it was coming from the computer though. It better not be. It's a $3,000 MacBook Pro. It better not be coming from the computer. So I enrolled in that agenda, and the vision or decisions of, whoever's running the corporation or producing the product or whatever. I did not cause that agenda to happen. I've enrolled in it. Okay. Now, if that agenda changes, I can make new decisions. Go along for the ride, not go along for the ride, whatever. Okay. But if I've been planting seeds the whole time over here, and I think the best seeds are the ones that keep you in control. Control equals profit. Okay. So the ones that keep you in control and build your own empire and therefore your own agendas, right? As long as you're competent and purposeful and, you've got some good good methods that you're employing, well, that would be a very, although delayed gratification, that would be a very good resource to have. So while you could pivot from gig to gig over here, you could also have stability over here and get to that, that promised land, so to speak. Not now, but a couple of years down the road, 5, 10, whatever. See, I mentioned on, was it Monday? When was it? I mentioned Solomon. He said, where there is no vision, the people perish. And this is another way to perish. One might think that, the side hustles or whatever, or the entirety of the effort, or where their attention should be. Okay, but what are we lacking there? A forward vision. I'll give you another metaphor on this, which I think is very appropriate as a motorcyclist. So let's say you're riding a motorcycle. People can do this in a car too, but it's much more obvious on a motorcycle. So there is that which is directly in front of you, let's say 1 to 2 seconds in front of you at whatever speed you're going. So there is, a stick in the road. There is, a potential hazard, or there's someone, changing their lanes right in front of you, right? Or hitting their brake lights right there. There are things that you could notice in the very short term, which are immediate potential threats, whatever, right? So, and on a motorcycle, you damn well better be aware of what's 1 to 2 seconds in front of you. But there's also 12 seconds in front of you, okay? Around the bend, right? Look at what that car up there is doing, right? And so it's best to not fixate your attention on one or the other. A lot of people fixate their attention on what's close, immediate threats, right? Or like in the gig economy, right? Low-hanging fruit, here, but no stability, right? We've got to also allocate some of that attention to, here's the future. Here's 12 seconds away. So in the world of, goal achievement, I have found it's easier to come up with a short-term goal because it's closer. It seems more real. I can make it more real for myself. Yes, in 90 days, come hell or high water, tooth and nail, I don't care what it takes, whatever it takes, this is what I'm going to accomplish in 90 days. For me, that's easier than saying 5 years from now, here's what the ideal scene will be then, because that's more distant. The fruit isn't as low on the tree. So it takes a bit of discipline. And while I'm seeing myself in my own life, blessed with multiple opportunities, multiple things I could do. I'm looking at Sonia right now, my awesome friend, the mighty Sonia, who also has multiple things, right, in the cooker, which are bearing fruit. I mean, it's profitable stuff. That's good. Okay. But there are, decisions that must be made. Allocate this much time here, that much time there. Okay. And then I didn't even mention life, right? I mean, just talking about business, which is one aspect of life. Okay. But here's like in Sonia's case, you just move, right? So that kind of impinges on your attention a bit, right? Talk about, just total nuke on your stability, right? New location, new technology, new everything, right? which is nice. And by choice, that's great. But getting back into the flow with stuff takes a deliberate, conscious effort. So for me, and I'll end off with this, for me, what I'm looking at is, and here's that word again, balance, balance between, short-term gig gratification kind of stuff and things which are, in my assessment, lifelong, prosperity and multi-generational, et cetera, right? Do you have both working in your life? I guess that's the question. And, this would be another, another piece of the puzzle would be, well, where are you on the path right now? Are you 20 years old? Are you 80 years old? Somewhere in between, right? So that also can shape our decisions on where do we allocate our attention. I'm just using the business example because it's one that I'm, very much involved in. But could we not also, look at this with, let's say, for example, health and fitness? Sure, right? There's things that are expedient, and then there are things that are high leverage. I've been thinking of, and I don't know too much about this, but I think it was back in the 80s. There was the diet pill craze. right? The secrets of the stars, instantly get slim with no effort. Anyway, so I guess you could eat drugs, and that's kind of a cheat, right? Does that actually improve your health over the long range? Probably not. I don't know. I'm not the doctor guy, but whatever, right? A lot of people did that. Actually, I've heard of quite a few people ending up less healthy. So if the bigger goal is, longevity, fitness, and vibrancy and whatever, vim, vigor, and all other words that start with V, right? If that's the goal, well, then is this pill? Is that the answer? It might be expedient, okay, or it might be actually causing more harm than good. Another metaphor for that would be, these guys that trick out their cars with nitrous oxide and blow up their engines. Yeah, it's expedient. Yeah, you got down the track pretty fast. Now where's the $3,000 to rebuild your engine? So the goal there wasn't. Here's the point. The goal on the racetrack, the drag racing guy with the nitrous oxide, right? The goal wasn't longevity. Oh, I want a good, dependable transportation. No, I want to win this race now. Okay, that's a cheat. And you won the race, and now you got no car. This is almost like a tortoise and the hare conversation, which I should probably review that fable. Aesop had some good points. I'm not sure if I got them all, but I should probably read it again. I think it was designed for 5-year-olds. I'm still working on making sure I understand all this stuff. Sonia, save me. Sonia, I'm babbling. Help me.
Hey, no worries. You touched on Tortoise and the Hare, and that was one thing that I wanted to mention, but I'll get to that in a second. Yes, I did move, and yes, it was a blow up for stability. And it took me weeks to get back to being stable. I was so happy and so comfortable, and you got to set up the house, and you need shelves, and you need this or drapes or whatever, and that takes your full attention. Yeah, I'm Italian. I talk with my hand. But that takes all your attention, and it took literally a determined effort to plant those feet back down in the realm of reality and get focused back on what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how am I going to scale my business? Yes, I've got lots of irons in the fire, and I always have. I've always been one of those people with the perpetual side gig, and it's always something new every quarter, every year. There's never been a steady flow of consistency, particularly with any type of a balance in my life. It's always work, 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 work. And then I have no time for social or taking care of the body. And then I would complain that I was lonely and didn't have a social circle, but I can't complain about not having it if I don't have the time or the effort to put into developing it. So balance was always an issue. And a couple of years ago, referring to the rabbit and the hare, or sorry, the tortoise and the hare, it became very visual to me that I'm the freaking rabbit. Here I am. I was thinking I was the tortoise for the longest time, but I was the rabbit hopping from idea to this or that, job to job, blah, blah, blah. And so it became my mantra to embrace the turtle, because no matter how many times you read the damn book, the turtle wins. Got to be something there. So, and I found that very difficult, because the bunny in me wanted that bright, shiny object, that low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. So needed to find a way that worked for me to marry the short term and the long term. And now that I've been here, just deciding to focus on one thing for the business or for the side hustle, whatever, just deciding to focus on one thing for the body, and just deciding to focus on one thing for the social, needs that need to be met, especially after COVID. It's been life changing. And for the first time, I feel like I'm achieving balance. So to give you an example, I've shipped out over 300 units this month into Amazon, which is the most I've ever done. But I'm also working out every day. I'm also increasing my social calendar with the long-term goal of who is it that I want to be? Not just what is the goal right now and what needs to get done this week, but who is it that I want to be in the future? Do I want to be a couch potato? Because I could do that, no problem. I've got that skill down pat. But if I want to be an active social person, I need to get up and move every day. And I need to do those exercises. I need to create that movement and that flow in the body. If I want my business to scale, then I have to take chances on shipping in more inventory than I've ever done before, and testing new products and managing all that with the full-time job, with the family obligations, with the social obligations. It's been really eye-opening. But putting the focus, and I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it took me a short amount of time. It literally took me a couple of years to truly embrace that tortoise and find little ways to make the bunny in me happy, to give me those low-hanging fruit moments, instead of living by the low-hanging fruit moments and jumping from one to one.
Right. So are we both? Maybe that's the whole point of the fable. Maybe we are the tortoise and the hare.
Well, I think we have elements of each. Some people are more tortoise than more bunny, or, I'm definitely more bunny. And it was really hard to rein that bunny in and nurture the turtle side of me to get those goals, that stability, that long-term vision, because I've always been big on goals, but trying to plan for, like you were saying, for more than just 6 months, more than just 6 weeks, the vision would just not be there. There would be no detail. And just this past weekend, like I do my journaling every morning, and I do a review my plan every week. Am I on target? What have I not finished that is crucial to get things done this week? And that's been pretty new since starting this group. But this past weekend, I just was on fire and wrote out my goals, and I could clearly see what I wanted to accomplish for the year, what I need to get done by each quarter, in just 3 different areas of my life. We're not going crazy, right? We're not doing a growth spurt in every single area, just these 3 things. What do I want to really do this year? And it was really easy to see, and that's never happened before. So it pays to put in the time and the effort to develop that little turtle. Feed him, give him your attention, and then ideas will start to come to you. And don't expect it to be overnight, but it does happen.
Thank you, Sonia. There it is. I would say that I've got more of the rabbit as well. And so that makes me wonder, so where does that come from? Does that come from living in a state of, let's say from childhood as, crisis management? Sure. Here's the examples, right? It was always chase the money. It was always deficit and never enough. And okay, well, that's an interesting program. And so what will that also produce? So let's say Sonia is outrageously successful with her Amazon business, millions of dollars. Let's say that happens. Okay. As the rabbit, and only the rabbit. Okay. Would she then find a way to make sure that she's always on the chase? In other words, spend every penny. And look, I've done it. Right. So if money just makes you more of what you already are, right? I started making big money. The first month I ever made over $100,000 in a month, spent every penny. Now we're back to, the first of the next month, and the statistic is 0. Gun to head, work, do it. Right. Well, and so why does the tortoise win the race? Right. I'm thinking right now about something that a lot of people have their attention on, which is cryptocurrency. And a couple months ago, you could buy, Bitcoin was down to what, 30 grand. And today it's what, 65. Okay. So you could have doubled your money in a few months. Okay. How does the tortoise win that race? Dollar cost averaging. Put $100, right? Whatever the price is, put $100, right? Maybe it goes down. That's only worth 50. Maybe it goes up. It's worth 150. I don't know. Okay. But if it's just a tortoise-like discipline, one step in front of the other, and then there's no emotional involvement. I think that's the other trap with the, with the rabbit, right? Is the craving for action, randomity, right? Whereas the tortoise sounds boring. I shall now move this foot. I shall now put $100 into the Coinbase account or whatever. Boring. Oh my goodness. So yes, we do have both in us, right? The tortoise and the hare, and both need gratification. Because if not, well, how long do you want to run, right? Rabbits get tired too. So interesting points. Thank you, Sonia. Who else? Anybody else got some thoughts on this balance idea that keeps coming up for me? Nobody. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go, well, here's my suggestion, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm shifting attention into some more long range stuff, and I have been this week, and I'm doing that deliberately and consciously. And so if we can take a look, each of us as individuals, take a look at what's on our agenda and what could we adjust so that we can find a little bit more balance. Unless you've already got it. If you're good, you're good. Okay. You know better than I do. But if there's a deficit in some area, whether it's the short term or the long term, how can we adjust? You could be out of balance. I was mentioning, heavy on the, the side hustle and light on the long term, right? You could be in the other direction, right? You could be like, you know what, this is a 5-year project. And then, you're eating ramen noodles 3 times a day for the next 5 years because there's no fruit on your tree, right? So maybe it's adjusting in the other direction. Where can you go make money right now? I'll tell you what, if I was new in business, that's the question I ask. How can I go make this profitable right now? Right now, money, now. That's easy for me to do. Okay. Maybe that's the challenge for other people, right? Is looking at, short range. What can I accomplish right now? Because you need to be gratified as well. Got to feed the rabbit. There we go. We just coined a new Aesopism or something. Got to feed the rabbit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up with that. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with us. We're going to be back here again tomorrow for Fun Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. And I'm going to give you a little report on how my day went today. So this way it's more real for you. It's not just, some ambiguous philosophical thing. It's actual, I'll let you know what fruits are growing and what seeds were planted. Love you guys.